today in the Valley of the Beast. The one and only Metta World Peace is here. I've had pro fighters, MMA fighters, boxers, NFL players, but this is the first NBA All-Star, world champion, basketball player to show up, to have the unmitigated gall, the testicular fortitude to come down, work out with the old man. But before we work out, we're gonna talk to Metta the man. Thank you for coming, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Have you ever had a time where you absolutely knew that what you were about to do was wrong as fuck?
Oh, absolutely.
But you went ahead and did it anyway.
Oh yeah. But I think like as you get older, you don't make those decisions. But yeah, as I was like grown, I had times when, maybe you're in the streets and you shouldn't be smoking. You're like, yo, don't hit that weed. You got a game.
Yep.
You hit it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you're in the club too long. You might want to go home, but you stay out anyway. You live and you learn. I feel bad about those decisions that I made, but definitely lessons that I can teach my kids now.
They ain't gonna listen. I got several around it, but you can try to tell them. It's like talking to the wall sometimes. How you grew up, has a lot to do with, if you grew up in the streets, you're gonna handle a situation much different if you grew up in a Grey Poupon type of environment.
Absolutely.
If you grew up in the streets, then you're gonna have a street reaction.
I have a lot of street reactions. Because in the streets, it's all about survival. So when you get in a situation where you got a chance to be successful and you get a chance to kind of get out that survival mode or make it out, so-called make it out, you're gonna do whatever it takes, right? Because you don't want to go back to where you was at. But it took me a while to understand, like, okay, I know where I'm from. I'm not my environment. I'm not where I'm from. I'm not even where I'm at. Meaning, like, if I'm from Compton, I'm not Compton. Or if I live in Beverly Hills, I'm not Beverly Hills. I'm wherever I'm at right now in life.
Right.
And I started to learn that about myself late.
Yeah.
About who am I for real. You always got to stay, true to yourself under all circumstances. And it took a while to get to that point. I'm always thinking about what type of impact I can make, on people that grew up just like me. Now it's all about, standing your ground and really teaching the kids how to become, true to themselves, entrepreneurs. When we was coming up as basketball players, nobody taught us about being entrepreneurs or CEOs. It was always about being the talent.
Right.
Opening your own gyms and different things like that. We had to learn that on the way.
Yeah.
But now you can give that knowledge to a 5-year-old. Now he's thinking like a CEO.
Right.
He's thinking like a boss.
Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Queensbridge, just like Compton. Same thing.
Yeah.
A mirror image, different coast.
Yep. Now, Metta World Peace has been known to do some shit. I don't think I know of another NBA player that actually went in the stands and whooped the fans' ass. I was like,
It was crazy.
Hey man.
Crazy day.
But you know what? I was like, goddamn, good for him.
But what happened was like how they showed it on TV, they just went right to when I jumped off the score.
Yeah.
But they very rarely show when I got hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I'm laying on the table and I get something thrown in my face. So, the immediate reaction was, who the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
The goddamn cup and hit me in the face.
Which is, to me, normal.
I would think that's pretty normal too.
Yeah.
I was pissed, man, because I was already in an altercation with a player at that time. Mm-hmm. There was no way we was gonna fight each other.
Right.
Had all these big athletes keeping us back.
Yeah.
So then, Big Ben kept throwing towels, and he hit me one time with a towel. So now I'm getting more agitated now. Like, yo, this has to stop. So I go back and lay on the scorer's table, and then I get hit with a cup. And I had no time to even think about what was going on. I was just like, yo, what the hell is going on?
Right.
So I attacked the fan. I thought it hit me with the cup. But for some reason, they just flipped that stories. Like, you see this wild motherfucker running into the stands.
Yeah.
And they didn't really talk about the dude who hit me with the cup.
Yeah.
I wish it never happened, but at the same time, it's like, yo, how do you react in a situation? Even if you're at your office, and then some, customer, throws something at you, you might whip the customer's ass.
Yeah.
And you might not have that customer no more. But, what I'm
I think it's safe to say he ain't coming back no more.
It was unfortunate, man. I took the heat for everything, but you know what? Me and the guy is cool now.
Oh, yeah?
The guy who threw the bear at me.
What?
Yeah, so like, I reached out to him a couple years ago. I don't like to hold grudges to anybody.
Yeah.
I just feel that's too much energy being wasted.
Oh my gosh, I know that. I spent, 50 years holding a grudge against my father.
Yeah.
For the way that I grew up. And,
Yeah,
you know, with things that happened to me when I was a kid. I still sometimes wake up in the middle of like night swinging and punching and stuff.
Yeah.
Because of things that happened to me, you know, when I'm 8, 9 years old.
Absolutely.
It's the way you would think, you know, damn near 60, that it would be get over it.
Right.
But some things, you know, leave an indelible imprint up on your psyche.
Yeah.
You know, so mental illness is charity of yours?
Yeah. Similar to your situation. So, like my dad, he was functional on medication. So when my dad met my mom before I was conceived, my dad didn't tell my mom that he was on medication. Some issues happened when I was like 1 or 2. My mom found out my dad was on medication. They was already married at that time, right? So now, you know, she in it for the long haul. My auntie on medication too, functional on medication. One of my aunties is locked away in a psychiatric ward. And then, you know, my little sister was on medication, still functional on medication, but she been in and out of institutions since she was 13. She's like 22 now.
Right.
My little brother's still in the institution. He just getting out. He's been in there since he was 10. He's like 32 now. And then my older brother did 10 years in jail for drug trafficking. So when I got older, I'm like, you know, I want to do something about this because I feel a way where I shouldn't feel. I shouldn't feel anger.
Right.
Shouldn't be depressed. I'm going through a lot of good days, but even during my good days, there were bad days. And I'm like, wow, you know, how is this even possible? So I had to get a hold of myself, figure things out. And then once I was able to figure things out, I wanted to help other people. Senior psychologist, that's like $100 an hour. People can't afford that.
No.
You know, everybody can't afford that. I was able to, you know, get marriage counseling, parenting counseling, anger management. Right? Cool, I can afford it. So I'm like, how can I help people, you know, that can't afford it? I said, you know, maybe if I give my message, that might touch somebody, might change somebody.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me into like speaking out. When people see interviews like this, which this is great, because I didn't expect this. I'd much rather do this than do a lot of things like the truth. But people see this and they're going to be tweeting us, putting Instagram, yo, thank you for coming out, thank you for talking, having this conversation.
They want to
it's
know
going to change somebody's life.
I have a obsessive personality. When I go into something, I'm going to give it 200%. Damn 100, I'm gonna give it everything I got. If I crash and burn, then I'm gonna crash and burn, but I'm gonna crash and burn trying to reach my goal. My new obsession is trying to help somebody else.
Wow.
So
that's great.
By telling my story, by you telling your story, I think that is the most powerful thing that you can do. By them hearing your story, like you said, you wanna tell as many people as you can. I want to help you do that as best I can to get your story out. The people need to know what Metta the man is all about, what Metta went through, where Metta came from. What better thing could we do than trying to change some kid's mind? Man, I want some kid whose dad is beating the shit out of him every day like mine, and they think it's the end of the world. They might even be thinking about killing themselves.
Right.
That, hey, this old fucker is still here. If I can make it through it, you can make it through it. If I can help that kid, then hey man, that's the best thing that I could possibly do.
Absolutely. I'm not ashamed for any type of situation I've been through publicly, you know, privately. It's cool with me, you know, and that's that confidence that you have in yourself, being able to deal with yourself.
Right.
You know, and that's bigger than anything. You're gonna carry that with you forever.
That's it.
You know, and that's what people gotta understand, especially people that didn't have that support system, a family, right, which is the biggest support system you can have.
Yeah.
And not everybody had that. You know, so then you know you give back, you be that little family indirectly.
We don't live in a perfect world, but if it was perfect, they would have their family. Everybody would have a tight knit family, and you know, depend on their family members. But in many situations, it's not like that. So for the kids that is not like that, who aren't blessed enough to have a mom and dad right there.
Yeah, it's true. People see us do things athletically. We can talk about bodybuilding. I can talk about basketball. They can go on YouTube and find a clip.
Yeah,
this is big.
Now, what I really wanted to know was what makes Metta World Peace Metta World Peace. You see the figure, the public figure, but I want to know what makes the man. Now, Metta World Peace told me that he's willing to step into the valley of the beast
Oh yeah.
and test himself. You gonna do one of my workouts?
I'm gonna try.
Ooh, and my workouts are designed to test you. To test you, both mentally and physically. And we shall put Metta World Peace through the test. The beast of the goddamn basketball court meets the beast of the valley. Stay tuned, motherfucker.
Let's do it. All right.
Thank you. Hell that shit! Don't you fucking quit on me. Ha ha ha.